Hello and welcome to our online event, Mastering Your Mind, with Sustainable Solutions Strategist Crystal Davis. We will bring her on in just a few minutes. In the meantime, I'm Judy Goss, the CEO of Over 40 Females, and I am thrilled to be here today again for our monthly online event. We have started having many more online educational teleseminars every week, and this one today is an entire event with a raffle prize valued at over $130, but you have to stay on till the end to win. And member introductions, just like the Connect Live events that thousands of women are attending across the entire country every month in person. Please visit our calendar on the website for a full listing of our educational offerings and continual live events at over40females.com. Okay, just some brief announcements and quickly about who we are. Over 40 Females is a nationally acclaimed live and online networking community specifically tailored for women over the age of 40, which is hence how we got our name, Over 40 Females. And we provide resources, personal and professional development, inspiration, and support. Our raffle today is a beauty bag by Soraya Brazil, Toji Vitamins, Full Lips, and Tilth Beauty, worth over $130. And we will announce the winner at the end of this event. So please stay with us until the end to see if you won. We are constantly getting our members noticed and in the press. This is Julia Klein from Chicago on her own segment with NBC featuring her book. And Helen Powers from our Connecticut chapter was booked in her own segment on NBC. And Jerry Stengel was on WABC in New York City with me for Eyewitness News, and we are so proud of the fact that we're constantly getting our members so much recognition, as well as Over 40 Females in general, and the members for their businesses, and not just on TV, but in every form of media out there, newspapers, magazines, blogs, everything. And our online benefits, I just want to remind you, as members, please go in and log into the website for your many online benefits. It is so important as we pick members out from what they write in their profiles to present for TV segments, press features, website features, all kinds of features. We're writing a book, and we have many other amazing opportunities for you to promote yourselves or your businesses. So get into your website, log in, and fill out your profiles. And as you can see, Kelly Epperson from our Chicago chapter has opened her own blog right in her profile on over40females.com, and we've been promoting her to our tens of thousands of friends and followers on social media. And our online benefits, by the way, are available to all membership types. So if you're in the online community or you have a Connect Live membership, it doesn't matter. The benefits are available to everyone. And by the way, for the online community, next time you're on Facebook, head over to our Over 40 Females online community page and give it a like to stay included. The ladies on there are very active, very sweet, so join the crowd with all of their connecting, encouraging, and inspiring. And also another way to get your story or business promoted, What Women Want Talk Radio. I'm the radio show host of a very successful women's talk radio show. And Over 40 Females members get top consideration to be interviewed for What Women Want. We have over 30,000 listeners every month. You wouldn't think I'm a radio show host with my flubbing here. But we air live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Now, we'd love to hear your pitches at whatwomenwantshow@gmail.com. We're constantly looking for guests to interview. We've interviewed a pretty diverse set of people, from a doctor that found a vaccine to cure breast cancer virus to tarot card readers and all kinds of other people. Marsha Clark was on. Remember her from OJ's trial? And she recently became, in the past few years, an author, best-selling author. She was interviewed too. So we have all kinds of women on the show. So send us your pitch at whatwomenwantshow@gmail.com to be considered. Okay, our chapter locations. These are our current live locations. If you're looking, and live means you can go to an event in person. If you're looking for live events to attend, you can find out where and when on our website, over40females.com, under the tab Locations. Now, each location has events at least once a month, just like our online community. We have online events at least once a month. And, of course, we invite you to join us here at online or across the country at our live events as well. We would love to see you. And we wouldn't have all of these chapters without sponsors like Cappy. So if you're ready to book that next vacation, let Cappy help you. You can Google your trip to death. I've done this before, but it takes so long, and it's always nice to have a friendly agent do it for you, especially a woman-owned business. She's been in business for over 40 years, so that's nice. We'd like to support her. Okay, so let the travel agent deal with it. Her number is right there. It's 888-227-7975. Okay, now let's have our guest speaker come on the line. I was fortunate enough to meet her in Atlanta. She's a wonderful woman. She's a member of our Atlanta Chapter Speakers Board, and she's an amazing role model and businesswoman. She's an engineer, speaker, and sustainable solutions strategist. She helps her clients achieve improved productivity and profitability using process excellence through coaching, masterminds, workshops, and consulting. Crystal is passionate about helping leaders achieve peak performance for themselves and their teams, and her desire is for all leaders and aspiring leaders to intentionally grow and develop, to bring out the best in others and have the courage to be disruptive. Crystal worked in various leadership positions for over 20 years in the automotive, beverage, and supply chain industry around the world, and she earned a BS in industrial engineering and an MBA. After longing many years to walk in her purpose, she decided to leave the corporate world for entrepreneurship. Every morning she wakes up with gratitude for being available to serve in her purpose. Welcome, Crystal.
Thank you so much, Judy. I'm so excited to be here and so excited for this opportunity to speak to the women in this amazing group. And
you know what? We're so excited to have you. You are just so inspiring, and when you speak, it just it hits so many women. I can see that, the light bulb's going off, and I can see that you're really reaching them. So congratulations to you.
Well, thank you so much, and we love you down here in Atlanta. So
thank you. I love being there. I love everything but the traffic.
Oh, yes. And now it is a little humid right now, though, so you might not like that either.
That's all right. It's the same up here in New York.
Oh, wow. So thank you so much for having me. And just to let the group know, I just want to share how meaningful Over 40 Females has been to me. And as a new business owner, 1 year into my business, I was been seeking networking events that were meaningful and that where I could contribute and add value, but also that I could receive value. And I can say that I truly have found that in Over 40 Female. I like the diversity of the women in the group. I like the transparency, the support of women in whatever it is they're trying to transform. And I love the whole theme about a woman over 40 being in some type of transition or transformation in her life. And this group is so supportive, so informative, and has just been a great blessing to me. It's actually not even been 6 months that I've been affiliated with the organization. So hats off to you. Thank you so much for creating a community of women who support one another and encourage one another. And I'm just blessed to be a part of it.
Oh, and we're blessed to have you, Crystal. That is so wonderful to hear. And everyone, I did not pay her to say that.
You did not.
You are just so awesome. And you know what? We couldn't do it without people like you. I know and realize I cannot do it without the members. I wouldn't have a company without, all of us. And it's so inspiring to have people like you as one of us, too. So thank you so much for being a part of our family.
Thank you. Well, let me jump right in, and I'm excited about the topic today, and I know some people may have thought that it's strange, mastering your mind, but I have found that it's one of the keys to success in whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, whether it's just a new project around the house, a new business project, launching a business, changing or transitioning in your career, or even, having to start over from some of life's very difficult moments like divorce and death and so on. I have personally experienced masterminding and have found it to be one of the pivotal elements that have allowed me to leapfrog, I think, in terms of what other businesses starting out have experienced. So just for those who aren't familiar with the mastermind principle, is the concept initiated by Napoleon Hill, and it can be found in his book, Think and Grow Rich. And basically, it consists of an alliance of two or more minds working in perfect harmony for the attainment of a common, definite objective. So I want you to just take a moment to think about that. It's two or more minds working in perfect harmony for the attainment of a common, definite objective. And he believes that success does not come without the cooperation of others. So by the end of the webinar, it's my hope that you will understand the power of mastermind groups. You will understand your role in a mastermind group and the keys to finding a very effective group. So my introduction to mastermind principles actually was during the time that I was pursuing my coaching certification through the John Maxwell organization. And the level of, in the process of learning and growing and learning about coaching and learning about leadership principles from John Maxwell's teachers, the level of collaboration, support, and encouragement to actually achieve breakthrough thinking, to push forward, and to find solutions that I just couldn't find on my own or, in my existing network or circle of friends was simply amazing. I was blown away. And it all stemmed from the fact that, which I'll talk about these things as we go on, it stemmed from the fact that I was in a group of like-minded people, all striving for something new and different. So that was the perfect harmony and the definite objective. And it was a family or a community of people that just were not going to permit you to fail. They really wanted to encourage you to pursue your dreams, to pursue whatever it was that you were seeking. Now, at the time that I actually was a part of seeking my certification, I was actually still working in corporate America. And I was petrified about taking the leap of faith and starting my coaching and consulting business, which had actually been something that I had been working on 3 years prior to me getting my coaching certification. However, through this group, I was actually encouraged, supported, and had lots of different insights on information about how to do things. So I actually was able to start my business and leave corporate America a year after receiving my certification. After having battled and fought for myself, trying to figure things out for 3 years. And now I'm actually leading mastermind groups, and I simply love and am thrilled when I see people thrive and actually move on to their next objective. So I want to take a moment to just talk to you about 3 steps to mastering your mind. And some of these may seem very obvious, but I want to talk to you from the perspective of having the support of a collective group of people that are there for a common purpose.
And also, Crystal, I just want to interject that the things that aren't so obvious, anyone who's listening right now, please feel free to fill in the question box at the lower left-hand corner of your screen and email us and let us know what your questions are if you have any questions while Crystal is talking the entire time.
Absolutely. I would love to hear from you guys and love to make sure to add clarity to anything that I'm speaking to here and address, because, again, I totally 100% support this principle. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is getting clear, or clarity. And Marshawn Daniels, who's a very popular coach, she talks about how a confused mind does not take action. And this has been, for me, one of the things that helped me move faster. So clear vision leads to clear results. And I thought that I had actually had some clarity around what I wanted to do. For example, people would ask me what I do, and I tell them coaching and consulting, kind of generically speaking. And then they'd ask, well, why do you like to do that? And I said, well, I really enjoy helping people. So when you think about me as a business owner saying that I like to help people, it's really broad. And in working through masterminds myself, I've gained a lot more clarity about who I want to help and why I want to help those people. And what I found personally for me is that clarity came from identifying my why. And a lot of my why stemmed from my experiences in corporate America. And I was the go-getter, let's change the world type of employee, which was not always suitable for some corporate environments and always a challenge for most of the managers and leaders that I had. But what I found was that I was constantly frustrated by not being supported in my radical ideals or even trying to improve something that I knew could be done simply. And also just being supported and encouraged to push beyond my natural abilities, and then my bosses or leaders learning how to actually leverage that. So a lot of that frustration and those experiences helped me to identify that I actually want to work with leaders who are not able to lead in their authentic values, who are frustrated because they're not able to either bring people to their vision or are not able to achieve the results, and leaders who want to actually build other leaders by teaching those who work with them and elevating those and bringing out the best in those people. So I'm now very clear about who I want to help, and that's helped me tremendously in my business and who I target in terms of my ideal clients, the types of programs and solutions that I offer to my clients. So just having that level of clarity, which honestly speaking has just come about in really like the last 3 months, because even though I had gone through these exercises before identifying my ideal client, I still had I was taking a very broad brush. I wanted to help everybody. And while that's admirable, it's not feasible. So clarity is so critical to what you want to do, and a mastermind group will challenge you to get to that level of clarity. Another thing in terms of getting clarity is affirming and renewing your mind daily. And regardless of your faith or your practice, it's very important to calm your mind, to clear clutter from your mind, and to renew your own beliefs in what you're trying to accomplish. And that's important because every day you will face challenges for whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, and you need to have a firm foundation set in your mind that you can do it. You may need help, you may need additional resources, but what you don't want to do is position yourself to where people, whether they are close to you or not, can talk you out of what it is that you're trying to accomplish. The third thing is, and you hear this all the time, about setting goals, and that's very important. Setting goals is very important, but what I've learned is to set goals and then be flexible for goals to shift. More about kind of my demagnetizing self-talk and why that's important to goals a little bit later. But in this space of getting clear, it's still not a straight line to the results that you're trying to achieve. So you have to be flexible and learn to constantly gain clarity as you're shifting. The fourth thing that has worked very well for me in terms of gaining clarity is to take small steps daily. So sometimes when you think about the vision of where you're trying to go, it can be quite overwhelming and intimidating. But if you prepare yourself to take small steps every day, do something towards your goal every single day, I've found that I've actually gotten more clarity and more discernment about what it is that I was trying to accomplish because I wasn't so focused on the big task at hand, the big issue. And then lastly, around gaining clarity is to celebrate small successes. And I can tell you this is still, for me, something that I have to work at because I'm always focused on the major task at hand. From my engineering background, I've worked on long-term, large projects. And so I've always been focused on solving the issues, completing the task, and then moving on to the next task, and never really taking the time to celebrate small successes. So now what I've done is I've actually implemented, and I learned this from a mastermind group, I actually implemented weekly success lists. So at the end of every week, I list out my accomplishments, no matter how big or how small. So even if it was I made a phone call to someone who I wanted to pitch an idea to, I list that down because it's an accomplishment. And there have been plenty of times that I've not been in necessarily the right mood, if you will, to do prospecting or phone calls. And so I realized that even in me making the calls, I should actually give myself credit, take a small bit of time to actually celebrate the small successes. And what I found from creating this list is I've gotten much more pleasure from looking at what I've accomplished versus looking at the task list of what I haven't accomplished. And I'm sure you can all attest to the fact that the list of things that you need to do is ever growing. And so I was always that person that was looking at the list of things still yet to be done. And now I feel a sense of accomplishment, and it gives me energy and, further supports the mindset that I'm trying to drive about staying very clear, very focused on what it is that I'm trying to do. I'm kind of like the shining.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. We have a question here. Maybe you can, do you know what they're talking about? Let's see, smaller tasks first to take focus over the overall result. Oh, can you give an example of small tasks versus the big picture? The smaller tasks to focus on and then take focus off the overall end results.
Absolutely. So
I'm glad you know what that meant.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So one example that I'll give is one of when I was actually first looking to start my business. And at that time period, I personally was going through a crisis, an illness crisis. And so I was at this point where I was tired of saying that I was going to start the business. And I had all of these steps about just first, what are the steps to actually establish a business? So I bought this book and I read all these steps about what you needed to do to establish a business, and it scared the crap out of me. All of the legalese, do you do an LLC, incorporation, all of those types of things. So what I decided was to just take, instead of being overwhelmed by all of the things that I really didn't understand about establishing a business, whether or not you need to get your business certified as women-owned business, minority-owned business, or so forth and so on. And what I just decided was every day I would take a small step toward identifying. So it was, okay, let's just think about the name of the business. What are some, and so that's, several days of just coming up with different ideas. I didn't put a whole bunch of pressure on myself to be like, you need a name today. Because, of course, you have to have a name to register your business legally. Another example was that, oh, goodness, my computer here. Another example was my logo. I had no idea what I wanted my logo to be, or a logo that would represent my company. So every day I would start to list out things that in my mind described my company. And after several iterations of doing that, I had a logo in mind. So that's what I mean by every day taking a small step. So some people will say, I want to launch my business in the next 90 days. And then they actually get ingrained in the process and understand that there's actually a lot to do in terms of not just having your legal setup for your business, but several other things like a bank account and so forth and so on. So if you can just take one small step every day, whether that's an idea or a thought, but you're constantly thinking about whatever your next step needs to be. And before you know it, you will be further along instead of being overwhelmed and allowing that to stop you or allowing that for procrastination to set in. And that's what I mean by committing to taking small steps every day. So I hope that answers the question for the person who
Sounds
asked.
like it did.
Okay, I was going to say if you like further clarity, just let me know. So the second step to mastering your mind is in mastermind groups is support. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Little Me, but let me introduce you to her. She's that person inside who tells you once you've made up your mind to take a step that you can't do this, you're crazy, who do you think you are? Are you seriously going to try this? Little me is that person inside that we have to learn how to protect ourselves from and discern when our spirit person is really telling us that we need to either gain more knowledge or insight, but not that we can't accomplish something. And that's what I love actually about the mastermind process is the level of support. I can't even put into words the level of support when you talk to people who are of the same mind, of the same mindset and in perfect harmony with what you're trying to accomplish. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about this when I talk about like minds, but some of you may be thinking, well, I have a set of friends that I talk to about things, and I have family that I can rely on to gain support. And all of those things are true and are good, but you have to be careful, because sometimes when you're talking to people who are very close to you, without realizing it, they may, how do I want to say this? They may actually bring about their fears and doubts and concerns, even though they're trying to support you. And I'll give you an example of that. So I actually was very excited here last year in the fall. I gained a very lucrative contract with an automotive corporation. And then shortly thereafter, entering the agreement and starting to work with them, because it was close to year end, it was end of Q3, their new division president basically said they needed to postpone or end all contract relations. And so because of the size of this contract, I had actually stopped pursuing other clients and was going to pick back up kind of closer to the time where this contract was going to end, because I wanted to be all in. They had requested all of my time. And so anyway, when they ended the agreement, postponed the agreement, if you will, it left me very vulnerable. And I was starting to think, can I really do this? Little me had taken over and was starting to really work on me. Did I really have the fortitude for consulting the ups and the downs and the highs and the lows? And so I had shared that with a friend of mine, and out of concern for me, she said, well, you still have, you can still go get a job. And I, thanked her for her insight, and she was right. That definitely is an option, but it wasn't really the advice or info that I was looking for. And so I actually had lunch shortly thereafter with a former colleague who also runs her own consulting company, and she actually said nothing close to getting a job. Her advice and information that she provided to me was reminding me of some of the risk of a consulting business, and then talking to me about different ways to push forward. And what made it so difficult for me was the timing of year. Most corporations, in going into fourth quarter, they're not really looking at entertaining new relationships and new partnerships. They're really trying to close out the year, and most of them are trying to close out the quarter strong to balance out anything that happened earlier that year. So that's just an example of when you're in perfect harmony with people, and how when little me steps in, of course, you can always talk to friends and family and girlfriends, but having someone that's in perfect harmony about the things that you're trying to achieve, new heights that your family and friends may not have strived for, is very different in terms of support. The second thing that I do is eliminating demagnetizing self-talk. And I never really realized that I was doing this until one of my coaches pointed it out. And because I'm a taskmaster, very logical kind of person, I focus on tasks and getting tasks complete. It's part of just my DNA from who I was in corporate America, and having to work and really put pressure on getting things done. So in my business life, I didn't realize that I was saying really down talking or negative talk around the things that I didn't get accomplished. And that's one of the reasons I talked to you before about creating a list of accomplishments, small tasks, no matter what they are, because I'm repositioning my mindset from 20 years of corporate America, high pressure environment, to focusing on the things that I'm actually getting done. And then I do have, self-talk where I make sure that I'm not just giving myself an excuse for not accomplishing some things, but really asking myself questions about why I didn't accomplish some of those things, instead of beating myself up for not accomplishing those things. And quite frankly, what I found most of the time is that I simply put too much on the list. And so that in itself was a learning opportunity for me to learn how to really set realistic goals or to things on my to-do list. So eliminate the demagnetizing self-talk. And then lastly, to join in with a friendly alliance that helps you protect against a failure. Along with being aligned with people in perfect harmony, these are also people who are going to encourage you and push you and challenge you when you have those moments of feeling like you want to give up or feeling like you're a failure. They are supportive. They're actually there to help build you up. They're what I call rangers. They're there to make sure that you're not giving up on yourselves. They, of course, can't do things for you, but they're the person that will tell you the truth, the person that will push you and challenge you along for the things that you said you wanted to accomplish, and they'll help you stretch and grow. And they'll give you solid feedback. And so that, for me, has been tremendous. And I'll tell you a little bit about how some of that works in the next slide when I talk about like-minded people. And so the third thing is like-minded people. So iron sharpens iron so that one person sharpens another. And I love that proverb. And it's also a very familiar chapter in Stephen Covey's work about the 7 habits of highly effective people. So what I've been able to accomplish with MasterMind and mastering my mind and my thinking and shifting, I've been able to accomplish more in a very much shorter period of time. So I've already told you about me actually launching my business after working through the John Maxwell group, getting my coaching certifications and having the support and encouragement from several people, and having people that could give me advice because they'd already taken 2 steps. They were 2 steps in front of me. Just recently, I've joined another mastermind group, and the last 3 months, actually before July, so from about February to April, May timeframe, I was really struggling with some new things that I want to launch in my business. And my mind was very cluttered and confused. And again, it kind of goes back to that shiny object thing. I was just bouncing all over the place and struggling to really focus. And I attended a mastermind in June, and I've done more in the last 3 weeks than I did in those 3 months to actually move forward on those new offerings. And it was because of the insight from the people in the group, trusted advice and the encouragement. And I was actually able to share some of my programs and some of the things that I was thinking about doing with a group that I trust. And they could give me advice or tell me if that was going to fly, or give me ways of actually helping to make it better. So trusted advice and encouragement, again, unparalleled from anything that I've ever experienced. And I want to just also talk about that from the perspective of I've been in groups, if you will, multi-level marketing groups, and I've been very excited and encouraged from those groups, which is great. And they bring in great speakers, great learning opportunities, and those are absolutely great. So when I go to those events, I'm energized, I'm informed, and I'm ready to go out the gate. What I found is, in addition to that excitement and encouragement, is having the opportunity in mastermind groups to actually sit and talk with people about what I'm trying to do on a more grounded, detailed level for what's applicable to me. So that's another thing what I mean about great trusted advice and encouragement. And then you gain an accountability partner. So in most mastermind groups, even though you're working as a group, they typically will partner you with one person. And some of them use formal processes to kind of figure out who the best person is for that. Some of them you just kind of pick the person. And this is another great value of masterminds and mastering your mind. So I was actually, an example was a few weeks ago, I was on the call with my accountability partner, and she could tell that something wasn't right with me. And so she just, she said, let's stop talking about the task that you have at hand, and let's talk about what's going on with you. You don't have to get too personal, but I can tell that something's going on with you. And if we don't address it, it's going to hinder you from making progress. And, that meant the world to me, that she, one, could sense that something was different, but two, that she had the courage to say, no, Crystal, don't just give me the fluff about you're going to do this and you're going to do that. No, let's talk about this, because this could become a huge hindrance to you in accomplishing your task. So it's stuff like that, again, that I have found to be extremely valuable, intangible. I can't even measure it, to be honest with you. So, and then the last thing.
Do you think an accountability partner should be in the same business as you or a different business, or does it matter?
A great question.
I think that was my question.
I don't think it matters, Judy. I think what matters more is that in terms of being like-minded and being in harmony, is that the person is trying to actually achieve new, next level, trying to always move forward, and they're not really the type of person that's pessimistic and not really interested in what you're doing. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
Okay.
So it's very important that you not look at your accountability partner as your coach. Very
so more of a, well, if you're not looking at them as a coach, what are you looking at them as? Someone to keep you moving forward?
Strictly someone to keep you moving forward, and in terms of holding you accountable to what you told them you were going to do. And I know that's still a little confusing, because that's very much of what a coach does. But a coach also brings along the how-to, if you will. Mm-hmm. And so I'll give you an example. I can call a girlfriend, and I might have a situation, and I can call a girlfriend who is always on my side. And so what tends to happen with a girlfriend who's always on your side, she's just going to support whatever you're feeling. So if I call and I'm, full of excuses and this is wrong and that's wrong, she's going to say, oh, it's going to be okay. Don't worry. When the time comes, you're going to move forward and you'll be okay. Yes, I understand that. An accountability partner should be able to challenge you around the negative self-talk, and also help you with brainstorming ideas about how you can get out of the rut. I don't know if that helps kind of clarify a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've had coaches that do that, but I guess it's more, it's just on a different plane.
It's a different plane. It's definitely a different plane and a different level. So most coaches, they have already outlined the content that they want to walk you through their program of how to actually help you achieve the big goal. And in the MasterMind setting, the accountability partner just serves as that person. So I can tell my coach, yes, I want to launch my speaking business, and I want to make $500,000 in speaking. And she'll say, okay, great, let's walk through the steps of doing that. And then you have your regular coaching sessions. With the accountability partner, it's a little bit less formal, and I can call up anytime and say, hey, I'm really struggling with this idea. What do you think? I don't have to wait until I'm with my coach to just kind of have someone to. It's less formal. I can banter back and forth different ideas because I've already told my coach, and we've talked about the steps I want to take. Now it's up to me to actually implement those steps, and the accountability partner kind of helps serve as that person to hold you accountable to moving forward in those steps.
Great.
Not defining them for you. So I hope that's a little bit clearer. But the last and the most important thing is to be present and to share. Most people will enter into a mastermind with what they can get out of it, but it's also highly dependent on what you give to it. So it's very important to be present and to do all of the things that I'm talking about that you would want someone to do for you, to be that person for someone else. So those are the 3 steps, and they are, again, to be to get clear. Clarity is everything. To leverage the support system, and to be of like mind. So with that now, I want to talk just a little bit about your role. And basically, I love this quote from John Maxwell, and he says, all leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And when you think about leadership in terms of influence versus a position or a title or an achievement or being over people, it really helps you understand that you are a leader. And your role in a mastermind group or organization is actually to be a leader. I've already talked about being present and participating, but to understand that you have something to give and you can be an influencer in your group. No matter how much you may think you're not an influencer, the others in the group will find value in what you say, especially if it's heart-based and if you lead with the heart. The other thing is to keep a positive and a friendly attitude. So, I talked about mastermind groups and, not being in a position to fail, and of course you're still responsible for taking the action. But when you're in an environment where everybody's focused on how do you do this, how do you overcome, how do you move forward, it's truly, truly amazing and incredible. And then again, don't coach. You're there to support one another. So it's a very fine line of telling people the what to do versus supporting them and actually helping them stay accountable to what they said they wanted to do. So a lot of it is very important for you to shift your language and saying, okay, what I understand is that you've told me that this is what you want to accomplish. What's keeping you from taking that small step? Be honest, yet constructive. This is probably the most important thing, is to be honest with people about their ideas and the things that they present to you. In one of my groups, several people have been submitting ideas for logos, and they said, well, what do you like? Tell me what you like, what you don't like. And I love one of the people in our group came back and he said, I can't answer your question. And he said, I need to understand who your audience is, what you're trying to accomplish with your audience, and then I can tell you if the logo fits that, or if I think the logo fits that, and how you might improve it. And I thought that was great, because up until that point, most of the responses had been, oh, I like number 2 or I like number 3 because of the colors. And that can be very vague kind of insight, because, we all have colors that we like or things that appeal to us more than something else. But his response was, no, in order for me to give you constructive feedback, I need to know more about who you're trying to serve and more about you, and that will then give me insight as to whether or not your logo, which of these logos I like, if any.
Crystal?
Then
I hate to say this, but we are quickly running out of time.
Okay.
And I also have a question. So if
yes.
We can answer this question, and then we're unfortunately going to have to wrap it up because we are running just a few minutes late already, and we have our member introductions and a few more things to do. Eliza is asking, how does one go about finding a mastermind group?
Great question. So actually, this will be available for everybody else, and you can look at the slide on effective groups. So, and then let me jump here. So actually, if you follow me, I can get you more information on groups that I'm aware of, especially if you tell me a little bit more about what you're going through. I can tell you more about that. And then I also.
So how did they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so I've just flipped over to the slide. I'm not sure if it's shown there. I've got how to follow me. You see it now? Okay, on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and then also there's my email address, crystaldavis@theleancoachinc.com. And then I'm also going to be launching a mastermind called Your Next What. And I'll have information for you on all the benefits that you'll get from that. But basically what I'll be doing is walking people through the 10 steps for how to accomplish whatever their next step or next, anything that you want to accomplish, whether it's getting over being an empty nester, transitioning in a career, firing your boss, or starting your own business. So follow me there, and then email me, and I'll send you some links to some other masterminds depending on what you're going through.
Terrific, Crystal, and I'm so sorry to cut you off short. You have so much, valuable information. So, yeah, if anybody wants to get a hold of you, please reach out to her. She's fantastic. I've met her several times, and just so warm and friendly, and we really appreciate your great information here today, Crystal.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you for coming on our teleseminar today. Okay, so now we are moving on to our introductory part of the event. Beth, do you want to take over?
Sure. The woman that to announce herself is Joanna Takis, and she is not on the line, so I'm going to read her brief bio. She's part of the South Metro Minnesota chapter, and she is an award-winning writer and editor who helps those who have stories about themselves or their creative objects to share these tales in a clear, entertaining, and or enlightening manner. So check out her profile. Now, the next person I'm going to unmute, and I know she's on the phone from Santa Monica, California, is Eliza Kraus, and Kraus, and I'm going to unmute you now. Hello, Eliza.
Hi there. I am here, and I was the one that asked the question of Crystal. I have to say it was an amazing talk. Thank you so much, Crystal.
I love it.
Thank
you, Eliza. She is so incredible. I just love her.
Yeah. Well, my name is Eliza. I'm known online as the anti-aging analyst. I'm in SoCal. I live in Palos Verdes Estates, and I help people drop a decade and ditch their boss. I sell amazing products that not only instantly remove wrinkles in under 2 minutes to really build a woman's confidence and get her mojo back, so to speak, but I also sell a suite of products with cutting-edge science that work on a cellular level to transform your skin, your health, transform the way you feel, and even transform your pocketbook.
I love it.
Great.
And everybody tweet her because she's a great support out there for women who want to get the word out about pretty much anything.
Yeah, and her, look her up on our website, and her profile is showing on the screen right now.
Very cool.
Thank you, Eliza.
Thank you.
The next number I'm going to unmute is Stacy Contreras from Bakersfield, California. Stacy, you there?
Hi there. I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thanks.
I'm traveling, so I'm on a phone. My name's Stacy, and I'm from Southern California as well. And I help women find both their inner and outer beauty using products that are long-lasting, money-friendly, and guaranteed to work. And did I mention that they last all day and won't rub off or kiss off? We are pretty much known for our lip products that stay where they should on you and not your cup or your kids or yourself. So it's a fun product. You can find me on Facebook at lipcandy. Lipcandy1, actually, LIPCANDIE. Do you have my profile pulled up?
I do.
Okay, perfect.
But you haven't filled out much. Stacey, you haven't filled out much of your profile, so it just shows your email address and the chapter you're a member of.
You know, I kept having glitches driving, trying to upload it, and it wasn't loving me.
All right.
I will finish that
me
when I get home.
Okay. Email me if you have any questions.
Yeah,
okay,
and
perfect.
email
Thanks.
us when you fill it out so we can pop you out on social media.
It sounds great. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Stacy. The next member that signed up to be announced is Dr. Linda Ehlers from the Chicago chapter. I think she's a doctor. And she is not on the phone. The next person that I know is on the line is Michelle Smith from Illinois. And you are unmuted now. Hi, Michelle.
Hi there. I loved your talk, Crystal. I'm doing good. Thank you. I help businesses create a plan in just 3 days, and kind of look at all the things that they're wanting to accomplish in their business. And then I help them in the months ahead in 3, 6, and 12-month packages as they carry out their plan and hit all those bumps in the road. And what I loved about Crystal's talk is what my clients love about my program is not only do they have my one-on-one coaching, but they also, I run it as a mastermind program like Crystal was talking about. So they get very clear, one of those three things Crystal mentioned, and they have the support system, and it's like-minded people that are going through the process with them. And it's just amazing to see the different things that the clients grow through, and I love it so much. I do offer a free business clarity call to help people get more clear on their business and what they're going through, and people can sign up for that on my website. It's zandbconsulting.com. That's Z for Zach, the word and, B for Ben, consulting.com.
Terrific.
Great.
Thanks, Michelle.
Awesome.
The next person I am unmuting, I know is on the phone, is Dawn Shannon from Texas.
Hey, Judy. Hi, Beth.
Hey, Dawn. How you doing?
Hey.
Good. How are y'all?
We're great.
Very good.
Good. Well, yeah, this is Dawn Shannon. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, and I am a coach. I'm a certified coach like Crystal. And, you know, she talked about clarity, and one quote that I found recently from Tony Robbins was, complexity is the enemy of execution. And that just kind of says it all right there. You know, there's so many things to choose from in life now. I mean, just think about your cable channels. I mean, my God, there's no way you can watch all those, right? So it just made it so difficult for us to narrow that down and go, I have to pick one or two that I'm going to watch, you know, and that's it. So really what I do is I coach women and I help them reduce those complexities either around their personal life or their business. And I just help them take those action steps that they need to execute their plans and accomplish their goals. And that's really my mission in life, is just to clear out all the clutter and take those actionable steps forward with my clients so that they can accomplish their goals and be successful.
Clearing clutter is important.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Dawn. It's nice to hear from you.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. The next person we have that was signed up is Amy Landholt. She was not able to be on the call. She's also from Chicago, and she works at the North Shore Acupuncture Center, and she's a new member, so welcome, Amy. The next member is Shelley Strauss Cairo, and I do not believe she called in as well. She is from the Sarasota chapter, and she's with SunTrust Investment Services. Welcome, Shelley. The last member, but not least, our speaker board member, Denise Hansard. She actually did our monthly online event last month and was terrific. Welcome, Denise.
Hello, Beth. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you for that. Well, and Judy, thank you for this program that you have. And Crystal, that was a phenomenal talk. I love that. So for me, I'm your life architect. Yeah, I'm your life architect. I help you build a solid foundation, whether it's in your life or your career, and then give you the support tools in which you can go live the life that you are meant to live. I help you look at your fear to become your friend and not your foe. And I help you to get very clear on how to transform your life. And I also do workshops, and I give consultations on becoming from exhausted to exhilarated. So go to my website. I would love to talk to you further about it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. Clearing the clutter and clarity seems to be a common theme here, so very important. Thank you so much. Beth, is that it, or do we have anybody else?
That's it. Nope, we're moving on
great.
to the raffle.
Awesome. Let's move on to the raffle. Flash that picture up there, and we have Ms. Kay Lees from Gwinnett County chapter down in Atlanta. Kay Lees, Lees. If you want to email us at info@over40females.com with the address where you'd like us to send your raffle, you are the happy winner of our Soraya Brazil, Toji, Fulips, and Tilth Beauty $130 basket. And everyone else, thank you for joining us for Mastering Your Mind. Thank you all the members who came on the call today to introduce yourselves. Thank you, Crystal and Beth. And we would love anyone who would like to email us or post on Facebook your success stories. Every week we have these online educational teleseminars specifically for our members. We have some that last 20 minutes and some like today, our online event, which lasts about 50 minutes. So go save your spot on our community calendar. We are constantly having live and online events. We enjoy them so much as we enjoy all of our members. Have a great day, and thank you so much for joining us.